Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you all are doing well. This is me, Aisha Zahid, your science teacher, and I welcome you all in today's session where we'll be discussing the overview of the chapter Heredity in Organisms that we have just completed in our class. So let's get started. First of all, we have discussed about the basic concept of heredity, what basically heredity is. So before knowing the concept of heredity, first of all we should know that on daily basis, on each second, there are the cells in our body that are being divided, that are being replicated. Okay, and the cell division are basically of two types. There is mitosis and the other is meiosis. In mitosis, one parent cell is divided into two daughter cells, while in meiosis, one parent cell is divided into four daughter cells. Mitosis is a type of cell division in which all the body parts, the body muscles, bones, skin, and everything is get repaired, and the division of the body cells is known as mitosis, while meiosis is a type of cell division which basically occurs when there is a formation of a newborn. So the reason for the cell division, the reason why cell divides is because there are some of the features, there are some characters, there are some traits that are transferred from parents to their offspring, from one generation to another generation. And basically this transfer of features, this transfer of characters, the transfer of traits from parents to offsprings is basically known as heredity. So we have discussed that there is mitosis and meiosis. We have discussed the phases of mitosis, that we have four phases, which are basically prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. We have discussed that in prophase, what basically happens is the nuclear membrane ruptures and all the thread-like chromatins are condensed into the chromatids. Then in the metaphase, there is a formation of spindle fibers. Then chromosomes get attached to that spindle fibers. In anaphase, those spindle fibers elongates themselves, and all the chromosomes get appeared at the centromere of the cell. Then what basically happens is there is a formation of two nucleus, which is known as karyokinesis. And after the formation of after the formation of nucleus, uh, those two nucleus formed into the two proper cells, which is known as cytokinesis, which is happening in the telophase. And this is how mitosis occurs. In meiosis, we have same process, but as we know that in meiosis, one cell is being divided into four daughter cells. So basically this process occurs twice in meiosis. So the process in meiosis is prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. Then ahead there is prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. Then what basically happens, we have discussed about the difference between mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis is a cell division in which there is a formation of only two daughter cells. Meiosis, we have four daughter cells. In mitosis, the cells are basically diploid. In meiosis, the cells are basically haploid. Mitosis take place every time, and meiosis take place during the reproduction, right? um, Mitosis occurs only in the body cells, which is known as soma cells या germ cells जिसे कहते हैं, and meiosis happens only in the germ cells. Mitosis in the body cells, which is the soma cells, and meiosis in the germ cells. Okay, then we have discussed about the concept of DNA and chromosome in a cell. We know that there every cell contains nucleus, and that nuclear is basically considered as the powerhouse of the cell, which is known as the brain of a cell, is considered as the governor of the cell because it governs all the activities. DNA has chromosomes. Chromosomes contains DNA. Nucleus contains chromosomes. Chromosomes contain DNA, and then DNA contains genes. We'll discuss further. Chromosomes basically are the substances. Chromosomes possess all the genetic information that is required for the development of a human being. Chromosomes possess all the genetic information. Basically, uh, first of all, they are in a thread-like structure, which is known as chromatin. Then, ahead, they are condensed and they form chromosomes, which have two arms, the P arm and the Q arm. The P arm is known as the short arm, which is the upper arm, and the Q arm is known as the long arm, which is the lower arm. And these two arms are basically attached with the help of centromere in the middle. Chromosomes are basically composed of 60% of proteins, which are basically histone proteins, and 40% of DNA. There are the specific number of chromosomes in each organism, and every number of chromosome is responsible for different sort of activities. There is the number of a chromosome that is responsible to develop a blood group, the number of chromosomes responsible for the development of eye color, and so on. So a human body contains 23 pairs of chromosomes. Like I repeat, 23 pairs of chromosomes, which means basically there are 46 chromosomes and numbers. So, and these number of chromosomes vary differently according to the organisms. Like monkeys will have different number of chromosomes, fishes will have different number of chromosomes. So the number of chromosomes vary from individual to individual. And we have discussed about DNA. DNA is present inside the chromosome, which is known as deoxyribonucleic acid. And basically, the DNA has all the schemes for the construction of living organisms. We have discussed the structure of DNA. I have described you the model of DNA. Basically, DNA is a double helical structure which is composed of four bases, nitrogenous bases that are adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. Adenine will always pair up with thymine with two hydrogen bonds, and guanine will always pair up with cytosines with three hydrogen bonds. And there is a backbone, a ladder, which is formed by a phosphate group. Then we have discussed about uh, genes, the term genes. So what basically genes are? Genes are basically the short segments of DNA, basically the short uh, parts of DNA. Many of the genes combine and form a proper molecule of DNA, right? Okay. Further moving ahead, so this was all about the DNA structure and the genes. Then we have to move towards the importance of heredity. So what basically, why the heredity is important? So basically the transferring of characters from parents to offspring is very much important. Like the basic characters that are transferred are the hair texture, hair colors, are the eye shape, eye color, and different things, na? So heredity is basically a phenomena that living beings added controls at what characters are passed on among the generations. um, Heredity is basically responsible for the variations. Like it's not necessary 100%ly that all the characters that parents are possessing would be transferred accurately 100%ly to their children. No, might be possible there is a variation in the offsprings. It's not necessary that if there is a blonde hair parents, it should be the blonde hair children. There may be a variation. Sometimes diseases are also transferred from parents to offspring. There are some of the diseases that are genetic, in which the most common genetic diseases are thalassemia and diabetes that I have already discussed. So there are two terms that we have discussed in the class, which is dominant and recessive. Dominant characters are those that are visible, that can be seen in an organism, while recessive characters are those that are not visible, that are suppressed, right? Okay. Then we have to discuss that what are the characters, what are the traits that are transferred in the plant, in the plant. So what basically thing is that there are some characters that are transferring from one plant to another, and the characters are seed shape, seed color, flower color, pot shape, pot color, flowers position, flowers height. All these characters are basically transferred from one plant to another plant, and this all concept of transferring genes and transferring characters from parents to offsprings is known as genetics. And who is the father of genetics? He was Mendel. ठीक है, तो Mendel is known as the father of genetics, who have firstly uh, observed and who has firstly given all the theories regarding genes and transferring of the characters. Then we have discussed some of the characters that are transferred in the human beings. So the characters are the hair texture, the hair color, skin tone basically, height, the shape of the ear, shape of the like eye color, fingers, shape of the fingers, and shape of the lips, mouth, rolling tongue, sometimes the bones and the muscles, and blood groups. And as we have discussed, some of the disorders that are present in the genes are also transferred from parents to their offsprings. So this was all about the chapter Heredity in Organism. We have performed an practical regarding the DNA extraction, where we have extracted DNA molecule from a banana sample. Then we have also observed the DNA 3D DNA structure model in the lab, and also we have discussed the phases of mitosis and meiosis in detail through different charts and different perspectives, right? So up till now, if you have any question and any query regarding this chapter, if you're having any confusion regarding any concept, you are free to ask me in the class or wherever you are free. So all you have to do is you have to read this chapter carefully, you have to mark all the concepts, and best of luck for the exams. Up till the next session, thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.